The Constitution will not be saved in Washington.
Travis Wingoodsell. No update for the lawsuit after Friday's entering of my brief way back on the 4th. Of November. What is interesting, though, is that the moon was with Jupiter and Saturn on that day. You may have heard that the moon was in a triangle with Jupiter and Saturn. But Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, the moon will be with Mars. So we'll see it here in Utah in the evening sky after sunset at around 9. It'll be due south in the sky. Oh, man. Oh. What's also interesting is that on the 23rd of December, this is jumping ahead, we have an interesting sign in the heavens. It's Joseph Smith's birthday. It's not Christmas, 23rd, not 25th. And the moon is back again with Mars in Pisces. But Jupiter is with Saturn, though they are very close to the goat beast's mouth. But that Saturn and Jupiter being one, with the moon at Mars, indicates a judgment against Mars for religious purposes, which is interesting. Mercury is in conjunction with the Sun at the top of the blade or the top of the bow of Sagittarius. And then Venus is at Ophiuchus at the claw of Scorpius, having just been judged, having passed the tree, or the star symbolizing the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and did it alone, which means Venus fails, thus again harmonizing the meaning of the sign that a judgment is coming upon the church in Nelson on the 23rd. But that has me wonder about tomorrow's sign. So we'll see what happens. Maybe she'll dismiss the defense counsel's motion to dismiss, being for the first motion, which was denied, and give them an opportunity to the 23rd to respond. We'll see. Alrighty. With the courts, you can't just make up accusations against somebody. Even the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Mormons should be relieved by that, but at the same time they should be horrified that there is a legitimate lawsuit against the church. Because the courts, as we are seeing, witnessing with Trump trying to overthrow our government again, that the courts aren't having any of it. And so despite the lawyers and Trump and Giuliani publicly claiming fraud and a rigged election against them, they're not telling the justice is this? Well, it's because they'll lose their license. It's not something you just go to court and you don't get punished for lying in court. And so you have to have reality in the court system. You can't go in and say the Church of Jesus Christ is a satanic pedophilia ring and they're alien lizards who are drinking the blood of babies. You have to have proof. You have to have evidence. You have to have facts to that. You have to say that the church was a major sponsor of the Boy Scouts, supplying the largest number of boys, supplying the largest number of scoutmasters, and there's 90,000 complaints of sexual abuse with the Boy Scouts after the church had abandoned them. And you point out that they've got the sign of Satan at their headquarters at Temple Square, on the temple, carved in stone, on the Eagle Gate. I almost said Seagull again. On the Eagle Gate. There on State Street at Temple Square. That's Brigham Young's Ponderosa Gate. And there he has Lucifer's symbol there. And the reason why we as Mormons didn't know about it growing up and is because the church was disincorporated. They don't tell us about the Edmunds-Tucker Act either. They just say that the mean old bad government came in and tried to keep us from worshiping our God. They don't tell us that our God is Lucifer. And that we were practicing polygamy in violation of the law. And so, yeah, the church was disincorporated, that Brigham Young incorporated in 1852. That's when he came out with polygamy, saying Heavenly Father is Adam, and all other nonsense. And so the church was put into debt because of having to rent back the religious part. Not the temples, they were allowed to keep the temples, but other religious entities like the Temple Square and all that, so that they can keep the religion going. And that's when Lorenzo Snow came up with the brilliant idea to do a protection racket with tithing, rather than give it to the poor, as Malachi tells us. And so what Joseph Smith understood and what Lorenzo Snow reinterpreted it to be, way different. Windows of heaven will protect you from burning if you pay your tithing. If you don't pay your tithing, we can't protect you from the burning. Well, it's the day of burning, as we're in the second coming, but it's not really the second coming, because again, the church reincorporated in 1923 and had to cover up all connections to the religion that Brigham Young established here in the Salt Lake Valley. And since they had no clue as to what Joseph was up to, they then decided, oh, well, these evangelicals are on the rise after losing their court battle in 1900 to have creationism taught in the school systems as a legitimate science. Let's be evangelical. We'll just keep ourselves uniquely Mormon. And we'll continue to claim this Book of Mormon book to show that we're still legitimately from Joseph Smith. So yeah, that's what Fawn Brody, Rough Stone Rolling, D. Michael Quinn, September 6th, and others are uncovering, is that the church was covering up for what Brigham Young was doing. And Brigham Young, in order to do what he did, had to blame Joseph for already doing it in secret. Oh yeah, it's all in secret. Oh yeah. And so, yeah, all these other rough stone rolling, no man knows my history books, magical worldview, are just based on what Brigham Young had been trying to keep secret, or what the church had been keeping secret about Brigham Young, accusing Joseph Smith of. Because Joseph Smith didn't believe Heavenly Father was Adam, but Brigham Young said, oh yeah, Joseph told me this is the way it is, this is how it's going to be. No, it isn't. And so, lots of things, everything was accused of Joseph Smith. Brigham Young just trashed his name and reputation so that he could justify the atrocities that he did. And of course the church didn't want anybody to know about that. And so it's plausible, but highly unlikely, because there are too many Mormons who have given me death threats and attacked me, who seem to know that yes, Brigham Young is a Satan worshiper and part of the Illuminati with the inverted pentagram. So, yeah, I've got the evidence, but the Mormon judges, along with the church's extortion threat to have my case dismissed before it even presents the evidence, it's a rough stone rolling, as no man knows my history, and as the church is wanting to erase me from history because of what I know. But you know, if I were making all this up, that it wasn't an inverted pentagram, or that an inverted pentagram for some reason means revelation from heaven, then yeah, they would have cause to motion to dismiss my case, and the judges are in the right to dismiss my case, as they did with the first one here, and now I'm on the second one, which is about how they use the coronavirus to shut me down, which is a little tougher to do away with, because how do you deny coronavirus? How do you deny that Nelson, as a medical doctor, refused to shut down the church when he's in the office of Moses, when Moses himself shut down the church, the house of Israel, during their viral pandemic, or their viral epidemic that swept through creeping death during Passover. And so Nelson, waited for Herbert to officially give the announcement, and then the church said, okay, we're going to do phase shutdowns, and the signs were posted on our stake center as I go jogging by. I had meant to take a picture of it, but never did. But then eventually, after I'm screaming and yelling that the church needs to shut down to save lives, they finally do shut everything down. And then they go around saying that coronavirus is taking away their agency, as Bednar is doing it, and then Holland and Nelson does coronavirus fasts to cure it. And they just do this magic nonsense to magically disappear coronavirus. It's sickening that to have a Mormonism religion that is based on science under Joseph Smith to then be turned into a regular Christian religion that doesn't believe in science when it doesn't suit their purposes. As my career field, or my educational field and then career field, was in ancient Middle Eastern Bible studies, culture and anthropology and etc. And so I know the claims of Christians and I know the claims of the church, as they also believe in a variation of creation, as Mormons had believed 4,000 years as well, and then some apostles try to distance themselves from that nonsense by saying, "Oh, a day according to the Lord is 1,000 years." You get the wrong understanding, and then you go way off base with that core misunderstanding. And instead of looking at the science first and letting the science determine what the truth is. But I mean, if I were to actually get away with it and present to the church my hearsay accusations, or just making it up without evidence, the courts would be worthless. You know, it would be a free-for-all. It's just whoever can misinform the judge and convince the judge that your lie is better than the other lie. But what the church had done, what Judge Waddups had done by dismissing with prejudice my first case, is that it's now fake news that I was arrested back in 2008. The church had me arrested. It's now fake news. It's now a hoax. Didn't happen, and yet you can go to mugshots.com. There I am. Fake news. They faked the online mugshots. It's not real. That's what they've done. That's what Waddups did in protecting the church in that first case. You know, how did I get here? Doesn't matter. You're here. You know, my history is gone. No man knows my history now. It's been erased. It's all fake. Everything I say is now fake. That's how horrifying it is when you don't present reality in the courts and the judges allow the fake news to dominate. That's why in Trump's case with the election, the judges wanted nothing to do with it. They don't want fake lies and hearsay as evidence. That's not how you present a case. And yet that's what the church did as their defense. Oh, it's fake news. It's a hoax. It's not real. Reality isn't real. Truth isn't true. And the Judge Waddup said, done. You win. Reality isn't real. Truth isn't true. Just unbelievable. And so, yeah, we can't have that kind of a justice system, guys. You don't want it for the church, because then somebody can just replace the judges with worldly heathen judges, and then the church is screwed. You know, Mormons don't want that. They want the church protected. And so then it becomes a survival of the fittest. Who can get their guys in the position to cheat and lie for the church to protect it? And then you have to step back and go, wait a minute. We're perpetuating lies. We're violating reality. We're anti-science so that we can protect the church that is supposedly the only true church on the face of the earth, that is led by Jesus, not Lucifer, of whom the symbolism is at Temple Square. And then you start to realize, oh crap, I can't do this. If the church is true, it's true. If it's false, it's false. You have to let the facts and the evidence determine it. And that's what this lawsuit is all about, is that they use coronavirus to threaten my life, as they tried to get away, and they did get away in that first lawsuit by faking my life. My life is no longer what it was. And so even though I know what it was, nobody can gaslight me of my life. It's now officially on a federal court document that it's all fake news. My life didn't exist. I'm just here. My social security number says I'm from California, but, you know, it's all fake news. Just like they did with Joseph Smith. Brigham Young just lied about Joseph Smith. Made it all up. And everybody believed him. And that's why David Whitmer, when he did his address to all believers, or whatever it was called, he had found out about Section 132, where Brigham Young claims that Joseph threatened Emma's life. Seriously? If I can't have sex with 10 virgins, God's gonna smite you down, Emma. Yeah, it's totally believable. God. But that's what the church is trying to do. They're gaslighting us. And when people discover that Brigham Young had been covering, or that the church had covered up what Brigham Young was up to about their lies of Joseph Smith, they believe the lies. And they say, why would Brigham Young lie? It's because Brigham Young was the beast. God. The beast and false prophet all rolled up into one. And so, alright. So, like I said, nothing today from yesterday on the docket. So we'll again wait until tomorrow for today, and then Thanksgiving morning for Wednesday. But there is a sign. There did appear something did happen for the sign on Friday. So that was cool. I was worried it was going to go against me. And it sort of does, because every day, every hour that Judge Campbell hesitates to give a final order, more people are dead. They're just stacking up ever since she gave the order to sanction me and shut me down, censor me. And so it's on her now. I won my case, but until she makes the final order, there's nothing I can do. And that sucks, because there are too many people that are dying. And of course they want me to die, and I've sent people to try to kill me. God. Even on Friday the 13th, back on March,